Hi, Aries. All right. Welcome to the space. Excuse me. If you are new here, this space is called Opal Oracle, and my name is Raaji. If you've been here before, thank you for being here again. Welcome back. Okay, Aries. I haven't recorded at nighttime for a while, or indoors, so maybe there'll be something a little bit different with you during this time. Maybe a little bit softer. I will say it's early in the morning. So maybe that's a time frame to be aware of, waking up early, or maybe paying attention to your sleeping habits could be good. I also sense that there is I guess a soft awareness in when it comes to other people, when it comes to maybe your job for some of you, could be your marriage for some of you, the thing that you're committed to, that you feel connected to. Maybe you come up with a good idea. I also sense there's sort of like not exactly coming back to a square one, but where maybe you get to retry something or approach something in a different way. This could be helpful. This is where sort of the aha idea maybe comes from. It could also be learning, like putting a piece together in something you've been trying to solve. That's more of maybe an internal conflict in yourself or in your life. Okay, let's open up your cards. Okay. Give me just a second to tune in. Well, the first card that came out, what I heard was terrible twos. Something about what is this saying? Well, I guess you're trying to figure out an answer, right? Again, maybe testing, trying something out. I heard again, you're trying to find the answer. And something about going back to the drawing board, right? Maybe you want to go back to whatever you're dealing with. That's the thing you're trying to figure out, or you're trying to do. How is it when you began what you were doing? Like, how did you feel about it, or what did you think about it? Just a second. Well, you're wise, Aries, right? You have a wisdom about you. And with that comes a lot of power. Like with that knowledge, being applied, then there's a lot of wisdom. But then I guess sometimes there's a bit of arrogance, or there could be, or arrogance in the sense of the word arrogant, if you break it down linguistically, means basically that you're shooting straight, right? It's a straight arrow. So I guess this is also about saying things softly or with consideration to how that will be perceived. Not to go around and be meek, to being afraid of speaking your mind, although I don't sense that usually is an Aries thing. But, what you know, not everybody else knows. And so just make sure also that your ego stays in a good place, or maybe just realizing, what do they say? Whenever we think we know something, then there's usually, we think we know everything about everything. Oh, Zumi's got a bone. Then, of course, the wise man knows that they know nothing at all, right? So maybe just keeping open-minded, that everyone is growing, right? Everything is, and trying to remember to see the sweetness in that. And maybe this goes back into the terrible twos, is what happens with a 2-year-old. Usually around then, a child will try to figure out kind of what they can get away with. Sometimes they can sort of fib a little bit, right? This is when they kind of start getting in trouble. They start to learn the word no. A little bit of a lesson, also a learning of it went ahead to the number 8 or 9, age 8 or 9, where this is when you start to recognize there's differences between things. And I guess as things move along, those differences change what is known and how the interaction is. So remember to stay, I just saw bare feet in grass on a sunny day. So stay positive, stay grounded. Yes. Maybe I also feel like maybe for some of you, there's something where you actually are doing a really good job right now. It's something that you are at this time is being celebrated. Could also be, but because of that newness or reward or what have you, if the ego is in check, then there's always going to be a little bit of, am I doing the right thing? Is this right? And because there's a newness to it, there could also be something that could maybe you could feel a little bit off, or, it's almost like when too many things go, when life's going really, really well, and you've dealt with a lot of heavy things in your life, it's almost like the emotional space or the subconscious space may sometimes make you think that you're doing the wrong thing. But if your intention is pure, right? As pure as possible. This is the purpose of it, that you're not only doing whatever you're doing for you, but you also understand that this is also very helpful for whomever, well, for everything, but whomever is connecting in your circle, right? Then you really don't have anything to worry about. Remember, well, in your yearly reading, it mentioned you don't have any major problems, right? They're all minor. And I see that here. And so be proud of yourself for what you have achieved. Let me see what this one card. Well, your inner child wants you to, well, I see be independent. For those of you who drink alcohol, I see it would be best to not do that in an excessive way, or in a way of having fun, like maybe however you have, or I heard have had fun, quote unquote, that may be changing a little bit. Maybe some, I also see, don't worry about what other people say either. Like other people's ego. You know what I mean? Like, in addition to the situation. Your strength right now also is to keep on keeping on, okay? Maybe you do need to have a little bit of fun, but make sure that that is in a healthy way, right? Maybe fun could be something where you can also have fun with yourself. It doesn't have to be like a party, or, you know, it could be maybe a small gathering. But the celebration of it should be, I see, should be for good reason, not just because. And I actually saw the fun thing for some of you would be, I saw someone cooking themselves a meal, or like doing a basic task, right? Making dinner, sweeping the floor. I specifically saw someone making dinner. But this is like a standard basic thing. But they were you know, there was some music, and this was fun, right? Instead of, usually people have fun by not doing, most people feel like fun is not doing the responsible things, right? But I guess a part of this is also maybe figuring out how to have that, have all these things sort of come together. And I feel like whatever is a little, I heard topsy-turvy, and then I went into that terrible twos again, which isn't really terrible. There's just trial and error there, right? Again, there's a testing with twos, a lot of T's here. But the point is in the future, you're actually going in the right direction. And I think for a lot of you, it could be helpful to, in ways of your moon sign, if you're tapping in for your sun and you know the difference, maybe go into your moon. I guess for some of you, could have to do with a mother dynamic as well. But more than anything, it's a feeling, but the feeling space here is actually really, really positive. It's a mental space that's a little bit, maybe you're being hard on yourself about something too. So oh yeah, you totally are going in order. Please remember this. But I actually feel like, and we've been talking about this all year, But Aries this year has been, the energy of Aries in the space, collectively speaking, has been very slow. And this is so good for you. I know in the beginning you're like, I don't know about this energy. Like, I don't know about this, right? Maybe the first, you know, 3 to 6, the first quarter, half of the year, maybe there was a little bit of, I don't know, whatever it was, little tests, right? Nothing major, just little things. But maybe this is just a reminder to be like, okay, you are in the right space. You're going in the right space. I see. Please remember to let the light in. And also to go outside and to, um, I heard get some fresh air. You know what I mean? Some sunshine. I also feel like there's a gift. I don't know if you've already received it, or this will be some sort of gift that will be granted to you for your hard work, and also for not, I heard, freaking out because things are, whenever they're wonky, right? Try to keep that, be like, okay, yeah, I understand this is a little challenging, or this is a little bit, kind of what we said back in the beginning. I guess it's looping back around. It's just be aware that there's a way, there's a resolution for the situation. And this isn't a situation for most of you that's like brand new. This is something, there could be new things, but the situation as a general sense has some sort of repetition where you've been practicing. Do you know what I mean? And again, I see because of your work, especially in your own patience, um, in your ability to also really want to do the best, again, not just for you, but for your family, for your friends, for your circles, again, of people that you're connected to. That is very much appreciated. Um, so if you've been asking for something, for instance, or working towards something, and it's not quite here yet, and you're like, wait, I've been, whatever it is, just realize that, well, some things come slow, um, and that's okay too. That's okay too, because anything that we work hard for, everybody knows that it feels so good when you finally have it. Do you know what I mean? You're sad for a long time and you finally feel good. You know what I mean? Like you're a little overweight and or you're not feeling so good about your body, and you start exercising a little bit and you feel so good. You're like, yeah, I look better. Like I feel better. Things like this. Like it's and maybe for you, don't forget that whenever you do get a little wonky, I always see this with Aries because you're ruled by Mars, is whenever you're a little wonky, especially if you're changing any habits, okay, or any kind of, uh, again, a way that you've had fun, or like a regularity to, if there's been a regular way that you find a certain emotion or what have you, if you were taking initiative to be like, okay, I know I need to alter this some, again, coming up with different ideas and not giving up on it. And then I saw again, I keep hearing the term like back to the drawing board, back to the drawing board. And it's cool because what I see is one of those old school, like big chalkboards. And you know when it was clean? Did you ever to do that when you were a kid? Like you were the one that had to clean it and go outside and like smash the, the chalk together. But when you really wipe it down and it's brand new, it's like you can draw anything on there. You know what I mean? Maybe some of you also, that might be kind of nice, is to maybe do a bit of, I heard analysis, um, on what you are working through emotionally and also physically, or maybe some goals. But more than anything, if you're wonky, a little reinforcement would be really positive. You know what I mean? Like, I heard, please take a compliment, but don't expect any. Because also, whatever's going on here, Aries 2, also has something to do with next autumn. Now I know that seems like you're like, what? Wait, this waiting game? Like, come on, next autumn. But there's something here, and this is why you want to take it nice and slow and steady, because you're building to something really beautiful. And so if something, again, I need to emphasize here, because I know there's a part of Aries that does not like to move slow. Like, even this reading feels so chill. It's nighttime. The moon is out. I opened the curtain, actually, so maybe you could see it, but it's hiding. The moon's really low this evening. Well, I guess remember, slow and steady really does win the race. And again, if you're feeling a little stagnant in yourself, or it's a little, again, there's some changes you're going through. And for some of you, it could be bigger ones. But the point is make sure that you are, well, getting a little exercise. Make sure you're getting your sunshine. If you catch yourself also being sharp with anyone, or being sharp with yourself, I see, please correct that with something positive after that. Okay? You know, what is the thing? You know, say you really want to say something to somebody else, you know, that would be maybe a harsh thing. Well, maybe instead of being like, when you would say you, da 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 da, it's like change it to I, change the you to I. You know what I mean? What do they say when you point at somebody, you got 3 fingers, point back at yourself, you know? It's like when you say you want to say something, you blah blah blah. Change it to I. And if you're saying like the I is harsh, change whatever the negative is to a positive. That's how you're going to find more of the lesson, you know, and more of the signs that are surrounding you. I know this will also help your relationships with other people very much. Maybe answer some questions, you know, that you've been having. And I see, please reach out to, who are your friends and those that love you. Oh, awesome. Look at that. 2 aces. Just let me see if I can find one more message. Hold on. Yeah, you're like in the beginning of a new strength in yourself. Like, this is your strength. And you're coming to, you're growing something to a new level, but it's like a level within many levels. Okay? And where you're at right now is actually at a accumulation point of a higher level. It's like if there are these, I'm seeing like this 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. You're at the 3 now, which is a really good thing, you know. And I see again, please, the moon is very helpful. Maybe this is also going over who you really trust, you know. tapping into your support systems. Okay? And well, I heard in being grateful for what you have now, right? Because it was pretty hard before, right? In the past. I mean, it was beautiful, but just being aware of maybe a little reflection there too, again, and how much you've grown, or if you're in the midst of a change, just understanding that is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes we have to go over things a couple times before it feels more solid, you know? Good reading, Aries. I was gonna go to bed or I tried to go to bed, and then I laid in bed for about an hour, and then I went and stared at the moon, and now it's about 3 rather. I don't generally stay up this late, so I don't know. You know, if there is anything, well, what do I see here? The mind is very powerful, you know, so if any of you are in a tough spot of a big change, for whatever you feel like is a big change, again, I heard some positive reinforcement with yourself would be very helpful, right? And maybe just admitting, you know, I don't know, like that you don't know certain things, or maybe this is a bit of humbling space, okay? And remember, you're doing a good job, and that you're strong, and well, then you're safe and loved and protected, okay? It's a beautiful test and extremely difficult to be still. So keep up the good work. And speaking of that, I actually see for a lot of you, like, work is very good. Whether, you know, whatever your job may be. Whatever your effort is, I see that being supported as well. So good. Good. So good. Well, take care of yourself, Aries. I so appreciate you being here. You want to see something cool before you go? Can you see this? It's an armadillo tail. Isn't that rad? I found it in the cemetery the other day when Sumi and I were walking. Usually they're hard to find. They go very slow. They move slowly too. Quicker than you think, like when they're in their own environment, but as they naturally go, they're pretty slow, but they're an interesting character. I think the Aztecs called them rabbit turtle. They sort of look like it. Oh, I wanted to mention that too, though. That reminds me, good. Their sense of smell is really strong, and I feel like that could also be something that'll help you to realize, like, what's right or not, or like what's off. You know, remember, that's also like an intuitive kind of thing, right? If we use our senses in a basic way, sometimes it can really, you know, if something smells off to you and you have a good sense of smell, well, take that as an indication. Maybe it's right for somebody else, but it may not be, you know. Just pay attention to those things too. I love you, Aries. Happiest now. Thank you so much for all your support. It's always a pleasure speaking with you. Of course, any of you who have gone over to Patreon also, I always have this bit at the end. Thank you. that garden's really cool. I don't mention it every time because I don't know. At, it's not my thing, but I probably should tell people or they don't know, right? If you don't tell somebody something, they don't know. So I also have this Patreon page, and those of you who have been over there, thank you. But it's a space where basically I make extra videos, mythological ones, transitory things, astrological, timeless, herbal medicine, etc. Actually, that's why my hands are dark, because I basically made wood stain with messing around with black walnut. I'm making an Armenian preserved young black walnuts. I'm really excited about it, actually. I haven't had them since New York. So anyway, if you'd like to check it out, please feel free. And there's a link down below. You're always welcome in that garden. You're always welcome here. Yeah, and please take care. And realize how far you've come. Okay? Try not to remember when we worry or have anxiety, it's too future focused. Okay? So just, sometimes it's being aware of the future, preparing, but trying to be, and loving the past, right? Loving the past and celebrating the future. And being present in the moment. I guess this is the equation that's trying to be reached. Take care of yourself, Aries. Peace.